Hello everybody, my name is Neil Bakiev and I'm a qualified CELTA English teacher from New Zealand. Today I'll help you to improve your listening comprehension and we'll be listening to an interesting interview with Eminem. Okay, and then your job is to listen to this interview very carefully and you should answer as many questions as possible. Make sure to pay close attention to specific details. Okay, so listen to the following interview carefully and answer the questions. The first question is, how often did Eminem have to change schools? And how easy was it for him to change schools? Okay, so listen carefully and try to find the answers.
So you had to change schools every couple months?
Yeah, I would change schools 2-3 times a year, and that was probably the roughest part.
Perfect. Now let's look at this transcript carefully. Okay, let's analyze the language which Eminem uses. Okay, and then you will try to find the answers by yourselves.
You had to change schools every couple months?
Yeah, I would change schools 2-3 times a year, and that was probably the roughest part.
Okay, so you had changed schools every couple of months. Okay, so have to basically means need to. So here we're talking about the past and therefore had to change in the past. Every couple of months. Couple means two, okay, which basically means every 2 months. And then he says, yes, I would change schools 2-3 times a year. Okay, Eminem uses would here. Would change basically means I regularly changed my schools in the past, but then I stopped doing this, right? So he's not at school anymore and therefore he doesn't change schools, but he would change. Would change basically means he often changed, okay, or regularly changed in the past. And then he says, and that was probably the roughest part. Okay, rough means difficult. Okay, so it was one of the most difficult parts for him, for example, right? But he's using spoken English and therefore he uses the word roughest, the roughest. So rough, rougher, the roughest part, which means the most difficult part, the hardest part. Excellent. Okay, now let's just look at these questions again. How often did Eminem have to change schools? So try to answer this question yourself. And the next question is, how easy was it for him to change schools? Excellent. Now let's get to the next part here. Again, we will be listening to the second part here. Okay, and your job is to answer the following questions. The first one is, when was Eminem beaten up? Where was he bullied by his peers? What was the reason for being beaten up? Okay, to beat somebody up means to smash somebody, to use physical force. When you kick somebody, when you throw fists, when you want to hurt somebody. To be bullied means when you humiliate somebody, when you use disgusting, nasty words in order to, undermine somebody's reputation. You think that this person is stupid, okay? So you bully this person. And what was the reason for being beaten up? So listen carefully and answer these 3 questions.
You got beat up a lot as a kid.
Yeah, there was a lot of instances that I would.
You got beat up coming home from school.
Beat up in bathroom, beat up in the hallways, shoved in the lockers, just for the most part, man, just being the new kid.
Excellent. Now let's look at the transcript carefully, okay? And we will try to analyze the language which Eminem is using now.
You You got beat up a lot as a kid.
Yeah, there was a lot of instances that I would
You got beat up coming home from school.
beat up in the bathroom, beat up in the hallways, shoved in the lockers, just for the most part, man, just being the new kid.
Okay, so you got beat up a lot as a kid. So technically it should be beaten up. Okay, so it should be beaten up. If we are using it as a passive voice, okay, so beaten up. Okay, if you use the passive voice, it should be you got beaten up. But if it's spoken English, then people just say beat. Okay, you got beaten up a lot as a kid. In this case, as a kid means when you were a kid, when you were a child. Okay, and then he says, yeah, there was a lot of instances. Okay, so here, even though we have a lot of instances, he uses like the was. Okay, it's just spoken English. Technically, it should be there were a lot of instances. In this case, instances basically means cases, all right, or situations. Cases or situations. Okay, that I would. Again, he uses would, which basically here means regularly. Okay, that's what normally happens to me regularly. Okay, I would get beat up on the way home from school, and then beat up in the bathroom, beat up in the hallways. A hallway is a place where students just walk up and down when they change their classrooms. And shoved in the lockers, shoved means when you put somebody in the locker, but you put it with too much force. A person doesn't want to be there, and you just put him in there. You chuck him in there, so you shove him. Okay, a locker is basically a box where you keep your personal items, where you keep your personal, jacket, your bag, your food and stuff. Okay, and then he says, just for the most part, the expression for the most part, okay, which means okay, like in most cases, all right, in most cases, okay, well, like if you just take 10 cases, probably in 8 of them, so for the most part, and then just being a new kid means because he was a new kid, all these bad things happened to him. All right, now let's just look at these questions again and try to answer them. So when was Eminem beaten up? Where was he bullied by his peers? And what was the reason for being beaten up? Excellent. Now let's move on. Let's go to the next episode here. Again, listen carefully and answer the following questions. What is hip hop all about? What do hip hop singers try to prove to each other? What do some people brag about? What is Eminem good at? What does Eminem deserve? Okay. Now listen carefully and answer all of these questions.
Hip hop has always been about bragging and boasting, and I'm better than you with this, and I'm better than you with that. And I finally found something that, yeah, this kid over here, he may have more chicks, like he may have better clothes or whatever, but he can't do this like me. You know what I mean? He can't write what I'm writing right now. And it started to feel like, maybe Marshall's getting a little respect.
Okay, now let's look at the transcript. Okay, let's listen to this part one more time, and then I'm going to explain to you the language which he's using here.
Has always been about bragging and boasting, and I'm better than you with this, and I'm better than you with that. And I finally found something that, yeah, this kid over here, he may have more chicks, like he may have better clothes or whatever, but he can't do this like me. You know what I mean? He can't write what I'm writing right now. And it started to feel like, maybe Marshall's getting a little respect.
Okay. So hip hop has always been about. Okay, so when you use the word always, okay, you use the present perfect. Okay, you're talking about a long period from the past up to the present situation, and the keyword is always. Let me give you an example. I have always been interested in martial arts. You have always been keen on music. Okay, so use the present perfect. Okay, about bragging and boasting. Both of these words basically mean, like, showing off. Showing off. So, for example, if you have a lot of money, if you are very rich, you can say, you know what, I've got 5 houses, I have my personal plane, and I've got 3 servants who always cook the best meals for me. So you're bragging and boasting how cool you are. Okay, you're showing off. Okay, and then he says, I'm better than you are at this. Remember, to be good at something. I'm good at drawing. You are good at playing basketball. Okay, so at. I'm better than you are that. Then I finally found something that, yeah, this kid over here, which means right here, he may have more chicks. Okay, in this case, chicks basically means, girlfriends. Chicks, okay, ladies. Okay, ladies, girlfriends. And then he may have better clothes or whatever. When you say whatever, it means, any other things. Okay, so for example, a better car, a better house, different, and so on. So instead of saying and so on, you say, oh, whatever. Yeah, let's say and so on. Okay, he can't do this like me. You know what I mean? Yeah, he uses you know what I mean. Okay, which means, do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so he wants to make sure that the reporter is listening to him carefully and he understands his message. And he says he can't write what I'm writing right now. And it started to feel like, in this case, it started, which means like I had this feeling that maybe marshals get a little respect. Good. Now let's look at these questions one more time. What is hip hop all about? What do hip hop singers try to prove to each other? What do some people brag about? What is Eminem good at? What does Eminem deserve? Okay, so please pause the video and try to answer all of these questions again. Perfect. Now let's move on. Let's move on to the next part. Again, listen carefully, all right, and answer the following questions. The first question is, what feelings did Eminem experience as a child? In this case, experience means basically have as a child, okay? What made him different from other singers? What made other singers angry with him? And what did Eminem try to do to prove to everybody that he was a great singer? Okay? So listen carefully and answer all of these questions.
Did you feed off the fact that people maybe underestimated you or didn't respect you early on?
Definitely. I think that there was certainly like a rebellious, like youthful rage kind of in me, and there was also the fact of the no getting away from fact that I am white, and this is predominantly black music, and people telling me you don't belong, like you're not gonna succeed because you're this color. Then you want to show those people that that you can and you will.
All right, now let's listen to this part of the interview carefully, okay, and I'll explain to you the language.
Did you feed off the fact that people maybe underestimated you or didn't respect you early on?
Definitely. I think that there was certainly like a rebellious, like youthful rage kind of in me, and there was also the fact of the no getting away from fact that I am white, and this is predominantly black music, and people telling me you don't belong, like you're not gonna succeed because you're this color. Then you want to show those people that that you can and you will.
Oh, that's really awesome. So the reporter says, did you feed off the fact that people maybe underestimated you or didn't respect you? The expression feed off the fact means, like, like, did it make you feel? Did it make you understand? Okay, did you realize that? Okay, underestimate means not to value you completely, not to value you highly, okay? Not to value you highly. Okay, so probably these people don't know all of your positive qualities and they think that you're stupid, but you're not stupid. You are very smart. You speak several foreign languages. You can you have lots of friends. You're very sociable. Okay, you are a great computer expert, but people don't know about it, so they underestimated you. They don't truly value you as a person. Okay. Or didn't respect you. And he says definitely means certainly. I think that there was certainly like rebellious, like youthful rage kind of in me. Rebellious means that when you are aggressive and when you don't agree with something, okay, like when you like disagree, probably you disagree with people. So for example, if parents tell a child that he needs to study well, he will say, I don't want to study. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to enjoy my childhood. Okay, so this person is rebellious. He's aggressive and he disagrees with his parents. And then like youthful rage kind of in me. In this case, youthful, okay, it comes from the word youth, which means basically young, okay. Rage means much anger, okay. Lots of anger kind of me. So the idea is like he was a very aggressive and kind of like a rebellious child, okay, because people didn't show respect to him, so he needed to defend himself probably. Okay, then there was also the fact of that no getting away from fact. That is a very good expression. The no getting away from fact. That means there is no denying that. You must accept this fact and you can't deny it. You can't say this fact doesn't exist. It does exist and you must admit the fact. Okay? Then I'm white, and this is predominantly black music, in this case predominantly means mainly, chiefly, okay? People tell me you don't belong. In this case, you don't belong to this, social setting. Probably you don't belong to, rappers. You are not one of us, so you don't belong. Like, you not gonna succeed. In this case, you not gonna. In this case, gonna means going to, okay? So basically means you aren't going to succeed. Cause basically means because, okay, but it's just spoken English, so just because you are this color. And then you wanna show, in this case wanna means want to show those people that that you can and you will. Now let's look at these questions one more time. What feelings did Eminem experience as a child? What made him different from other singers? What made other singers angry with him? And what did Eminem try to do to prove to everybody that he was a great singer? Okay, thank you very much for watching this video lesson. I hope that you have enjoyed it. And if you feel like answering all of these questions in your comments, just go ahead and do that. Okay, just share your thoughts. And you can say whether you like listening to Eminem or not, whether you believe that he's the best rap singer in the world or not. So just write everything, in the comments below, and we will go from there. Thank you.